ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
madam.
sir. Okay, sir. Now I can start. Learning. Am I audible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. A very good evening to one and all present over here. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcoming all of you in one day international workshop, in one day national workshop on NEP 2020 and higher education, organized by IQSC and placement cell of Let Ramrao Nikam, B.Ed College Indoli. Well, myself Shaheen Sayyad, B.Ed first year student of Let Ramrao Nikam B.Ed College Indoli, and I am delighted to be your host for today's entire workshop. So without any further delay, now I take the privilege of welcoming all the dignitaries on the dais. Firstly, may I take the privilege of welcoming today's chairperson, Mr. Nivasrao Nikam sir, chairman Shri.Narsinha Shikshan Samstha Indoli. Now I take the privilege of welcoming today's resource person, Mr. Mr. Dr. Dattatreya Tapkeer sir, M.A. English, M.Ed. Comparative Education, M.Phil, Ph.D, UGC, Junior Research Fellowship, NET, Diploma in IT, and he is recently working as a professor at SNDT University, SNDT College of Education, Pune. Also, may I welcome today's workshop convener, Professor Mr. Sachin Patil sir, IC Principal of Let Ramrao Nikam B.Ed College Indoli. Now I welcome Professor Mrs. Burde SM Ma'am, IQSC Coordinator of Let Ramrao Nikam B.Ed College Indoli. Also, I welcome Professor Mrs. Kanchan Thorat Ma'am. Now I also welcome all the dignitaries, teachers, and my dear friends who have gathered here from various places. Now may I request Professor Mr. Sachin Patil sir to introduce today's entire workshop and speaker in detail. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shine ma'am. May I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Myself, Professor Mr. Sachin Patil, IC Principal at Ramrao Nikam B.Ed College, Taluka Karad, District Satara, Maharashtra. A very good evening to all. Before few days, we organized a workshop on the subject of education and career opportunity in Europe. After few days, we organized a same theme workshop, education and career opportunities and Japan. And after few days, we organized once again same theme workshop, education and career opportunity in USA. Today, we organize one-day national workshop on the theme of NEP 2020 and higher education. So, friends, today we all are gathered together here on the online platform for the precious occasion of this online one-day international workshop on the theme of NEP 2020 and higher education. Friends, on this spacious day, I would like to give warm welcome to today's resource person and my idol person, Dr. Dattatreya Tapkeer sir. I would like to give warm welcome today's chairperson, Mr. Nivasrao Nikamappa. I would like to give warm welcome respected principals, professors, friends, respected dignitaries, parents, my colleagues, वर्कशॉप ऑर्गेनाइजर कमेटी एंड माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, तहे दिल से मैं आप सभी का इस ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म पे स्वागत करता हूं। आप सब लोग आपका कीमती समय देकर इस ऑनलाइन प्लॅटफॉर्म से हमसे जुडे हैं. आपण ऐकणारे बहुतांश लोक मला असं वाटतंय की मराठी आहेत. नॅशनल वर्कशॉप असेल तरी मायबोलीतला संवाद मला असं वाटतंय की जास्त प्रभावी राहील. म्हणून मला आजच्या वक्त्यांची ओळख तुम्हाला करून द्यायची आहे. आजचा जो विषय आहे तो विषय आहे NEP 2020 आणि उच्च शिक्षण. मित्रांनो, मागच्या काही दिवसापूर्वीच शिवाजी विद्यापीठाचे आदरणीय कुलगुरू आमचे पालक डॉक्टर शिर्के सर यांनी NEP आणि NAC या दोन विषयाशी संबंधित एक कार्यशाळा शिवाजी विद्यापीठामध्ये घेतली होती. आणि त्या कार्यशाळेमध्ये त्यांनी सर्व प्रिन्सिपल प्राध्यापक यांना आवाहन केलं होतं की आता NEP मधून कुणालाही सुटका नाहीये. NEP हा अनिवार्य भाग आपल्यासाठी असणार आहे. NEP देशाने लागू केलेली आहे, काही राज्यांनी त्याचं इम्प्लिमेंटेशन सुरू केलेलं आहे आणि आता आपल्याला सुद्धा त्याच्यातून माघार घेता येणार नाहीये. NEPच्या बरोबरच आपल्याला इथून पुढचा प्रवास करायचा आहे. त्यांनी केलेलं आव्हान, त्याला अनुसरून आमच्या विद्यापीठाने हा छोटासा एक प्रयत्न केलेला आहे की याच विषयावरती आपणा लोकांचं, विद्यार्थ्यांचं उद्बोधन व्हावं आणि त्या उद्बोधनासाठी त्याच दर्जाचा रिसोर्स पर्सन तुमच्या समोर असावा, या हेतूने मी आजच्या व्याख्यानासाठी निमंत्रित केलेले आदरणीय व्याख्याते म्हणजे डॉक्टर दत्तात्रय जी तापकीर सर. एक अलौकिक प्रतिभेचे धनी, ज्यांच्याकडे सरस्वती आणि लक्ष्मी या दोन देवींचं वास्तव्य सदैव राहिले आणि पुढेही राहिले. असे शिक्षण क्षेत्रातील आध्यात्मिक आनंद यात्री म्हणून ज्यांची ओळख संपूर्ण महाराष्ट्राला आहे. असे सुसंस्कृत, सदाचारी, विद्यार्थीप्रिय शिक्षक, शिक्षण क्षेत्राची गेली 37 वर्षे प्रदीर्घ सेवा करणारे शिक्षण सेवार्थी, आध्यात्मिक प्रवृत्तीचे शिक्षक, ज्यांची ओळख शिक्षणाचा आध्यात्मिक चेहरा अशी आहे. ज्यांच्या जीवनाचे शिक्षण आणि अध्यात्म हे दोन पंख आहेत आणि त्या पंखाच्या जोरावरतीच त्यांनी संपूर्ण महाराष्ट्रभर नव्हे तर जगभर आपल्या ज्ञानाचा प्रवास केलेला आहे. असे प्रसिद्ध लेखक, कवी, व्याख्याते, प्रबोधनकार, प्रवचनकार, कीर्तनकार, नुसतेच शिक्षण क्षेत्रातील अधिकारी न राहता जे खरोखर महाराष्ट्र शासनाच्या शिक्षण अधिकारी या पदावर ज्यांनी 5 वर्ष काम केलेलं आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये 2 वर्ष प्रौढ शिक्षण अधिकारी, त्याच्यानंतर 3 वर्ष SCRT मध्ये ते शिक्षण अधिकारी म्हणून कार्यरत होते. पण विद्यार्थ्यांशी डायरेक्ट संभाषण साधणारा हा शिक्षक त्या पदाला चिकटून राहिला नाही, स्वतःच्या इच्छेने त्या पदाचा राजीनामा दिला आणि SNDT विद्यापीठामध्ये, विद्यापीठाच्या कार्यक्षेत्रातील महाविद्यालयामध्ये ते रुजू झाले आणि जवळजवळ 37 वर्ष SNDTच्या कार्यक्षेत्रामध्ये ते कार्यरत राहिले. संस्कृती, स्त्री, पराशक्ती हा मंत्र महर्षी कर्वे आणि विठ्ठलदास ठाकरस यांनी दिला. तो मंत्राच्या पूर्ततेसाठी अविरत आपल्या शैक्षणिक कालावधीमध्ये कार्यरत असलेले हे एक प्रकारचे शिक्षण महर्षी आहेत. त्यांचं जर आपण शैक्षणिक डिग्र्या बघितल्या तर मला असं वाटतंय की सरांच्या लेक्चरला कदाचित वेळ मिळणार नाही. पण त्यांचं जीवनचरित्रच एवढं मोठं आहे की आजच्या काळातले, मी सरांना काय म्हणतो की आज जुने आपण गांधीजी असतील, टिळक असतील, रवींद्रनाथ टागोर असतील, अरविंद घोष हे शिक्षण तज्ज्ञ म्हणून यांचा आपण अभ्यास करतो. पण आजच्या काळातले शिक्षण तज्ज्ञ ज्यांना आपण असं म्हणू, असे हे आजचे वक्ते आणि व्याख्याते आहेत. सरांचं BSc केमिस्ट्री झालेली आहे, म्हणजे सायन्स फॅकल्टी मधलं हे व्यक्तिमत्व. नंतर BA इंग्लिश केलं, MA इंग्लिश केलं, B.Ed केलं, त्याच्यानंतर M.Ed कंपॅरेटिव्ह एज्युकेशन मध्ये केलं, M.Phil टीचर एज्युकेशन मध्ये केलेलं आहे, Ph.D एज्युकेशन मध्ये आहे. त्याचबरोबर UGC ज्युनियर रिसर्च फेलोशिप सहित नेट क्वालिफाईड असलेले सर आहेत. त्याचबरोबर त्यांनी डिप्लोमा इन IT या विषयात त्यांचा डिप्लोमा झालेला आहे. त्याचबरोबर राष्ट्रभाषा कोविद, राष्ट्रभाषा रत्न, राष्ट्रभाषा पंडित अशा वेगवेगळ्या क्षेत्रामध्ये ते कार्यरत राहिलेले आहेत. संस्कृत, बंगाली, चित्रकला, भारतीय स्थापत्य, संगीत, नाट्यशास्त्र, चित्रपट, रसग्रहण, प्रथमोपचार, जादू, नैतिक शिक्षण, योग, आयुर्वेद, निसर्गोपचार, ज्योतिष या सगळ्या शाखांमध्ये सरांचा स्वैरविहार राहिलेला आहे आणि खूप प्रचंड नॉलेजेबल पर्सनॅलिटी आज तुमच्यासाठी उपलब्ध झालेली आहे. मी आपल्या सगळ्यांच्या वतीनं आधुनिक काळातील या शिक्षण तज्ज्ञाचं मनापासून या ऑनलाईन व्यासपीठावरती सर आपलं मनापासून स्वागत करतो. आणि हा आजचा विषय तुम्ही खूप छान पद्धतीनं या सगळ्या श्रोत्यागणांना समजावून सांगाल अशी मी अपेक्षा ठेवतो. आणि संयोजकांनी मला जे या कार्यक्रमाची रूपरेषा मांडण्याची संधी दिली बद्दल धन्यवाद व्यक्त करतो आणि थांबतो. शाईन ओव्हर टू यू.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request today's resource person, Dr. Dattatreya Tapkeer, sir, to share your valuable words with us. Over to you, sir.
Yes. Good evening, all of you. Welcome you all. This is my great pleasure. I'm really very happy to talk to you at this very relaxed time, because the first time at this evening I am delivering a lecture. Normally such lectures are arranged during the office time, but I was very happy to see that in the evening I am having a dialogue with you. I'm very much thankful to Dr. Sachin Patil, sir, who has given me this opportunity. And I also welcome Honorable Nikam, sir, all of the dignitaries and all my audience. Friends, being from the previous generation, I am very much used to speak in an offline mode. I always love to enter into the hall and face my audience. I always like to look into their eyes. And face-to-face transaction is the best transaction according to me. But well, the time has taught us, especially the Corona period has taught us this kind of online transaction, this kind of virtual classroom, this kind of digital, or we are living in a software civilization. So technology has made it possible for us to be at such a distance. Everybody is comfortably sitting in their own houses, in their own homes. And I am also sitting in my own home with nobody in front of me. Only my mobile is in front of me. And I am assuming that all my audience is sitting in front of me and listening to me. In the very beginning, let me tell you that this will be a very heart-to-heart talk. It will be a very informal kind of talk. It will be a kind of what do I like is I always like to speak in a motivational mode. I will not give you each and every word and each and everything, from that the subject that you have given to me about NEP. It does not mean that each and everything about NEP can be told in single lecture like this. But one thing can be surely done, and that's what I'm going to do, is to introduce you to the very spirit of this NEP. What is it about? What is the flavor of this NEP? What is the spirit of this NEP? What is the main the saying of this NEP? What is the main soul of this NEP? How to get motivated for that? And how is it? It is not going to be, you see, it's not a kind of burden for us. But it has to be a very pleasurable thing for all of us to face this NEP, to encounter this, to accept this thoroughly, and to act accordingly. So I'm so happy that nowadays there are so many, organizations, and everywhere in institutions, in schools and colleges, people are so enthusiastic to organize such programs and call persons like me to talk about NEP, to listen about NEP. That's a very good sign. Just as we do read the scriptures or the religious books, similarly, with that same devotion and same passion, with the same honor, you should be able to go through this document, which is a very simple, very short and sweet document, I tell you. You should have curiosity to go through it and to read it. It's not available in any bookshops but it's available as far as modern technology offers us. It is quite available on network. It is available on internet. And you will find that National Education Policy 2020 has been translated into almost all Indian languages. It's available in Marathi. It's also available in Hindi. The original document runs over for 66 pages. When I say that it is 66 pages, I would say that this is really, as we call in Hindi, it is a Gagar mein Sagar. Because such a great amount of knowledge, great amount of motivation, great amount of policy decisions, something that is decided, all the resolutions and all the affirmations are, very nicely put together in a very influential way, in a very effective way, into such a short booklet of only 66 pages. When I talk about these 66 pages, I do remember when this particular policy was about to come, when it was at the horizon, when it was not yet horizon at all. But long back, I think this topic has been, it was opened among the public right from 2016, then 17, 18, like that. It was in formation. And the very first rough draft had come out. Can you believe that the rough draft was running for over 484 pages? There were 484 pages of this rough draft, which was also available then during that period on internet. And people had taken the printouts of that, and there were so many discussions going on. And I was fortunate enough to take part in one of such, I think not only one, but in 3 or 4 such discussions at a higher level, where we used to sit together and go through all the 484 pages and see what is this coming, what kind of policy is coming. Now, policies means, technically speaking, it is not a law. Remember, it's not a commission either. You know that all my education-loving friends might be knowing that after the independence, our country had gone through different commissions of education. Just after the 47 independence, we had Radhakrishnan Commission, University Education Commission in 1948, which was followed by Mudliar Commission, that is Second Education Commission in 1952, which was again followed by the most important one, a very comprehensive and a very deeper one called as Indian Education Commission or Kothari Commission, as Dr. Daulat Singh Kothari had been the chairman of that particular commission. So that had come in 1964 and it was going on till 1966. And then we had some, after that, after a long time, then in 1986, we had a policy. Just like NEP right now, NEP 2020, we had NEP 1986, Rashtriya Shaikshanik Dhoran 1986. So it was again a very famous and very popular thing. That time I was a M.Phil student in Tilak College of Education, Pune, and we were so enthralled, we were so excited, we were so happy about it, that some policies coming, and our teachers and our professors in the Tilak College, they had promoted us, they had motivated us to discuss about that, and we are so happy that our suggestions are going to go there and they are going to be included in it. So I remember those days. And now at this, in this aged period of mine, after I am retired, I am welcoming this policy of 2020. So this is a long traffic, this is a long journey, right from 1986 to 2020 now. After 1986, in order to digest that policy, in order to digest that, thought and understanding, because as I said, commission is also something like a policy, but there are certain technical differences. Just as just now our meeting, you have called this meeting as a workshop. Technically speaking, workshop has a different meaning where I should have been there, I should have been there in the hall, you should be there with me, and I should give you some work to do. You should work, then you should present that work, then we should talk about it. When some actual work is done, that is workshop. When some organization is arranging such kind of gathering every year and new resolutions are made, new rules and regulations and new committees formed, that is called conference. When there is only oral discussion about something, that is called seminar. Sometimes the seminar happens to be at a very small level in a roundtable conference, that becomes symposium. And when separate groups are formed and those groups discuss and then present at the end, that is called group discussion. So my friends, group discussion and lecture is also there. So technically speaking, whatever is happening now, it's a kind of a lecture. I am just lecturing you, delivering you some of my thoughts. But at the end of my lecture, I would certainly like your questions, your commentaries, your comments, your compliments, your experiences, your opinions. I would very much welcome them. So this, as I said, these are the differences between group discussion, symposium, conferences, and workshop, etc. Similarly, there are the differences of white paper. There is a difference of policy. There is a difference in commission. There is difference in some circular. There is difference also government circulars, which we call as GR, government resolutions. And then there is a policy. Then there is a law also. Law has a different meaning. So policy means when educated people, highly scholar people come together, think about deeply in a very philosophical, psychological, and sociological way, in an educational way. They decide what to do about. हम जैसा कहते हैं कि गांव में बुजुर्ग लोग साथ आते हैं और डिसाइड करते हैं, कुछ तय करते हैं, कुछ डिसाइड करना होता है कि क्या करेंगे, किस ये सुझाव है. पॉलिसी में सुझाव हे धोरण आहे, हे धोरण आखलंय, हे तज्ञांनी आखलंय, लक्षात घ्या. हे कोणी शासनाने लादलेलं नाहीये, शासनापुढे फक्त ते स्वीकृत झालं. And that was done on 29th July 2020, for which about 3 years have been passed. So this policy is already 3 years old now. It is not a very new thing. It is already 3 years old, and we have to immediately start implementing that. Otherwise, we shall be blamed as we are very good planners, we are very good policy makers, but we are very wrong and we are very worst kind of implementers. You see, so India should not be blamed as Indians are very good in planning, but they are very bad in implementation. They are very bad in application. That should not happen. Because you see, every policy, every commission has something to say in it, and everything is perfect according to that particular time. Meaning the commissions which I refer to you now, Radhakrishnan Commission and then Mudliar and Kothari Commission, it doesn't mean that they were incomplete. They were quite complete, they were quite perfect, they were quite comprehensive, and they were the best possible commissions and best possible policies during that time. Every time the new needs are changing, and that's why something has to be added. But the base, the very foundation does not change at all. So, country like India, which has a long history, long heritage of the culture, which has been, we are a nation with a long history, with a long heritage, long culture, and we are thinkers, we are philosophers. We know what is to be done with our country. Our country had been, unfortunately fallen into the foreign rule for 150 years with the British, and then we got independence. Now, just few days after, we are going to celebrate our Independence Day on 15th of August. And such liberated country, such independent, such free country has to think about its own things as per the time changes. And just as I said, in 1986 was a very revolutionary policy. It is still working now. There are still certain things which have to be considered once again. And then, what is something new in this very particular policy? What is this, great talk and discussion everywhere about? What is this policy about, in fact? So the very first thing I would request you to, at a very individual level, I request all of you to get the copy of this policy. You get it printed from, get the printouts from the internet. And just like you read the religious scripture, as we call it as a parayan in our culture. So similarly, you have to do the parayans of this policy. You have to sit together and discuss about it. There is a real workshop. You have to discuss each and every page, talk about it. And then you have to talk about how can we implement that? We are very good at, discussing the problems. It's a very funny thing. Whenever I deliver these lectures and go for seminars and conferences, I always find that many people are very enthusiastic in talking about the problems. They're always worried about how can it be done? Is it possible? Can we do it very easily? What problems and difficulties would come? I think this is a very great creativity to think about the problems. But at the same time, there is still greater creativity about thinking of problem solving. There are problems, no doubt, but let us talk about the solution. हम सुझाव के बारे में सोचें, हम समाधान के बारे में सोचें, बल्कि सिर्फ समस्याओं के बारे में नहीं. ये पहली बात है. दूसरी बात, जैसे मैंने कहा कि when we had that the importance of these policies, for the first time there was great, what you call as vichar manthan. It was a great churning of the thoughts everywhere throughout the country. And these 484 pages were read by many of the thinkers and many philosophers, psychologists, educationists throughout the country, and many discussions were held. And you will not believe me, there were suggestions which were more than 2 lakh. Can you believe this? Incredible. India, as we call it. Foreigners call us incredible India. All incredible things, unbelievable things can happen in India. So a policy like this, NEP of 2020, is so fortunate that it has received more than 2 lakh suggestions from the whole country. It's a very good thing for a democratic country like India to get such honor. And all those, and I consider myself as fortunate because I am one of them, of those 2 lakh people where we had sent some suggestions to it. And after that, as I said, after the great journey, this policy was made. You know that actually, perhaps you've not been knowing, but very few things about this policy. What is the importance of it? What is the profile of this policy basically? This policy is prepared basically by 8 very high level educations, which was headed by, the leadership was received through Dr. Krishnaswamy Kasturirangan. Future, he was dreaming of flying high into the sky, had got this policy with us. Such a person is thinking, he is dreaming about. He is a scientist, he is utmost scientist, he is an academician, he is a very refined philosopher, he is a scientist, he is a space scientist, he is a physicist, he is an astrophysicist. Kasturirangan, a very experienced fellow. I'm very lucky. I have seen him, I have talked with him, I have listened to his lectures. He had come to Pune. And there his, this vision is very important. And then he had a committee of other 8 persons, of whom one of Dr. Vasudha Kamath, our former Vice Chancellor of SNDT, my university, she was also participant, one of the participants in it. And such 8 persons had, come together for, they had 14 meetings, some of the meetings in Delhi and some of them in Bangalore. And then they had consulted about 74 top level institutes in the country. And they had talked with 217 persons, highly, higher level educationists of the country. And then with the 14 meetings, as I said, this particular draft was made. I mean, this particular policy was completed. Now, these 66 pages are actually divided into 4 different parts. It has given its vision, which is very, very important. The vision is very important. And they have also given the kind of, which are the 5 principles upon this particular NEP is based on. They say it should be, there is access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. These 5 things are supposed to be the main principles of this NEP. There has to be access to education to everyone. And then there has to be equity. Equity, that is, it is very different from equality. Equity is, everyone should get the education according to his liking and his aptitude, his inclinations. And then there is quality. Quality should be there in education. It should not be only quantity everywhere. It should not be only, in lakhs and crores of people are only getting education of no use at all. That shouldn't happen. It should be quality education which will make them stand on their own legs, which will give them the meaningful life. That's more important. At the same time, it should be affordable. So financially also it is thought about it. It should not be very, the education should not be too much, it should be within the reach of every poor people, every poor man in this country. And then at the end, they say it is accountable. There should be some principle of accountability. Somebody should be, the education system has to be accountable to the whole society itself. What kind of product we are bringing out from our education system? Well, don't call it system as an abstract term. Let us see in a concrete way. What kind of product are we giving out from either schools or from colleges or from universities? What are our all gold medalists and all the scholars and topmost, all those persons who coming, all those students who are the best quality students from either board or from the university? Are they of any use to the society? That's the question now. What do they do in the society? What kind of creativity is there to be found? What kind of skills have they achieved? Or have they only mug up the thing and cognitively only remember the thing? Is the whole education is based upon only a kind of memory learning? That was the question. And therefore, this policy talks about this kind of accountability, that this education system has to be accountable for entire nation. Then, as I talked about the vision, that's very, very important. You can learn by heart this vision. It's very important. See, in this vision, they have said the national education policy envisions an India-centric education that contributes directly to transforming our nation sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high-quality education to all. See how many things are brought together. This policy expects that education has to be quality education. It should be reached to each and every person. Then the whole society in the modern world, throughout the world, is going to be knowledge-centered society. Everybody has to learn, It's not only educated people are getting the degrees in the universities, but nowadays the tailor has to learn, the doctor has to learn, engineer has to learn. Each and everybody has to learn. Everybody in the society. Maybe, low educated or high educated. Education is must for all of us. So we are all going to be lifelong learners. We cannot say that in the university our education is over or in college our education is over. Never. We have to learn throughout the life till our death. So this kind of learning society is the characteristics of the new world. And there is a, the common term everywhere that is used, explosion of knowledge. Yeah, it is really, I tell you, it is literally, there is really the knowledge explosion. It is so exploding each and every moment, each and every day, each and every hour, that, yesterday's knowledge is becoming totally outdated nowadays. So what kind of students shall we give to the society? We should be ready to learn for all the time. That's what the vision of NEP says, that the students, we have to give the education which is appropriate for this knowledge-educated society, is a vibrant society. I like that word very much. Vibrant means dynamic, means very energetic, means very active. Society should not be, dull. It should not be lazy. It should not be inactive. It should not be passive. It has to be active. vibrant, dynamic, vital kind of society. Now, these are, as I said, these terms are, you see, each and every word is so meaningful. It is so poetic. It is so ambitious. It is so dreamlike that you feel like as if, the policy has to look like a poem. It's really like a poem, and one has to see the dreams. You see, there is nothing wrong in writing a poem, though it is written in prose. But the very ideas are so spiritual, they are so social, they are so psychological, and they are so idealistic, I will say. Idealistic, Adarshavad. This is all Adarshavad. This is a idealistic, and we know what is a realistic. What is a reality in our country, and what is the idealism? There is a great difference of sky and the earth. So we have to, you see, in order to reach towards the goals, we have to see the dreams. And this NEP is giving you the dreams like this. Somebody has to put the dreams. Now it is up to you and me to realize these dreams and put them into the practice. Policy is divided for this, it is conveniently divided into 4 different parts, major parts. School education, higher education, major key areas to focus. What key areas are there, which are to be focused, which are to be given importance to? And lastly would be how to make it happen. Making it happen, that's the name of that part. Making it happen. I also like that title. Making it happen. You see, otherwise it will be only in the thinking. You would, that's why we criticize it. Yeah, this is only, higher level great thinking. It's idealistic thinking. And you must be saying that all these people have sat into the air-conditioned rooms and their comfortable chairs and taken pen and paper and they have written something which is very impossible to achieve at. That should not be feeling, my friends. If you start with that feeling, then there is a problem. You have to be optimistic. You have to be ambitious. You have to be active. You have to be passionate about education. You must be loving education. You must be loving your students. You must be loving your work, your job. Then only perhaps there will be the possibility of reaching towards this kind of policy, as I said. Now, these 4 different major parts are divided into 27 chapters. You go through it. It's given in very much detail. Now, as we are giving focus on only higher education in this particular topic, I would not go to the school education part, but that's also very interesting, and I request you to read that as well. Never be compartmentalized like this. That is what the policy says, that there will be no, watertight compartments. School education cannot be separated from higher education at all. They are so connected. It's a continuation of that. But school education, preschool education, they have said that right from the 3rd year, this education would start. And then they have extended the period, extended the power, the jurisdiction of a law, which you call as compulsory private education law. Compulsory सक्तीचा प्राथमिक शिक्षण कायदा आता आलेला तो जो आहे तो that has been expanded. It is till 18th year age. So till the 12th standard of the child. 3rd to 12th. That will go. Yes.
आज सकाळी 2 तास होतो 10:30 पर्यंत परत गेलो.
Disturbance. You see, I request all of you to
mute your mic.
चालूच आहे अजून.
Ganesh, mute your mic.
Yes, may I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes.
See that there is no disturbance of the sound tower. You are welcome to ask questions to me at the end. So, and if you want me to, come to Marathi, I'm ready for that. Please let me know about it. Otherwise, I'll continue in English. So, this kind of, as I said, continuation, that is pre-primary education, that is a very deeply thought psychological thing is given there. It's all continuation because the student which will come for the higher education will have come through entire systematic planning of this particular NEP we are talking about now. There is right from the 3rd year, skill education, there is flexible education, there is flexibility in curriculum, there is flexibility in the teaching methods, various methods and techniques are suggested for that. There is everywhere constructivism, which you call as Jnanarachanavad, that has to be followed out there. There is a project method, there is exhibition method, there is playway method, there is a dramatization, there is a role play method, and with various different techniques, the student would have come to you when it comes to your higher education study. So NEP has given a proper thought how child will learn through self-learning right from the childhood age. Now you can imagine how mature that would be, how smart, how intelligent, how well prepared that child would be if it comes through all this policy to you afterwards, like when it comes to the higher education. Now, you don't have to wait for those children to come to you now. Whatever students are there with you right now, those who have come from the so-called traditional way, but now you have to give them this new test, this new treatment, this new kind of flavor, this new kind of transaction to them with education. Now, as I said, right from their school education, higher education, I mean higher secondary, what you call this 5-3-3-4 kind of pattern, and with that, a child who will complete its 12th, who has given examination at the 5th, 8th, 10th, and 12th, and would come to you in higher education. This child will have full freedom, full choice of selecting his subjects. The very first thing that would come into our higher education would be, as I said, that higher education will be flexible, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, credit-based, choice-based, totally flexible, total freedom of methodology, total freedom of curriculum making, and autonomous education. All these are characteristics of higher education now, as seen through the angle of new policy. So there are certain, very revolutionary things coming up. Perhaps our traditional mind does not accept them so easily. It becomes difficult for us to accept them. For example, if I say that there will be no watertight compartment as art, science, and commerce, this division will be gone. Wow, that's the first shock to us, isn't it? It's quite shocking thing. How is it? We'll say that, in this age of over-specification, over-specialization, we say that, yes, deeper and deeper. You should go into one subject only deeper and deeper and go on studying that only throughout the life. Now that will be changed. Because the very lifestyle is changed. Man has to be now he has to be multi-knowledgeable. That is the need of the time. We are living in such a society now that in order to live comfortable, successful, meaningful life, you need knowledge, know-how of various subjects to make your life happy and comfortable. Because happiness index is also important. You can't depend only upon science. Even the great scientists were also lover of arts. They were good. Some of them were singers. Some of them were, they could play musical instruments. Einstein, the topmost scientist of the world, was very much fond of playing on violin. So they must have interest in the art as well. A child who is studying science can also have interest in literature. As I myself am an example. I was a science student. I did my graduation. I've completed my graduation in chemistry BSc, and at the same time I again I turned my way to arts, and then I became B.Ed and M.Ed because I had that aptitude. I had interest of both the things, science and arts, science and literature. So somebody can be interested in at the same time mathematics and music. There are many of them who are interested in mathematics and music. You will find many of the doctors right now, medical doctors, who are very much interested in art, in acting. Right from Dr. Ram Laghu to Girishok, and there are many of them who are good doctors, who were good doctors, and then they came to field of art and they became good actors as well. Now, this kind of, multifaceted nature of man, multidimensional nature of modern world, which is combined with the advanced technology as well. So life is becoming more complicated. It is becoming more multidimensional. It has more flavors. It is becoming a rainbow of many colors together. You understand me? So we have to enjoy life that way. Now we cannot have, watertight compartments, and we cannot have, we cannot close our eyes like the horse is made like that, we cannot have that in our modern life. So therefore, this particular psychological thought has come, which is very, very psychological, and you will find that children also love it. That's the main thing. For whom we are doing all these? For our students. Students also love the idea of multiple knowledge, of multiple languages also idea. All these things have come into this, they are reflected into this policy. That don't stick to only particular language. Yes, mother tongue is important, and in the very beginning, at the early stages, you must have this mother tongue. But as you grow on earlier, you grow further, you can learn many of the languages together. Once you know your mother tongue very well, its grammar and its very well, that language capacity, that ability to learn the language is there. It is innate in our brain there, and you can go on learning many languages together. Again, I myself am the example of that, because I went on learning many of the languages and I didn't find any difficulty at all. We are unnecessarily afraid of these things. And that's why the trilingual formula of India, where regional language of the mother tongue is combined with second language as our national language as Hindi, and the third language as English as an international or trade language, which is a need of the time. So there cannot be any clashes in that. You cannot be, have superiority complex as you are English medium students. And you should not, Marathi medium students should not have the inferiority complex as they know nothing about English. Never. You can learn many languages, you can learn regional languages, you can learn other Indian languages, you can learn foreign languages like German, French, Russian, Japanese, whatever. And that way you can increase your knowledge. You can increase. So multilingualism. And our country is famous for its multiculturalism. Multicultural, multi-civilization, multi-language, multi-religious country it is. There are different religions, there are different cultures. So a multilingual country. So in every respect, our country is multidimensional country. And therefore, especially for Indian people, this kind of multidimensional dose of education is a very important thing for their successful life. So this particular spirit, this particular approach has been accepted by this policy to have different subjects like. And that has been the need of the time, that has been the demand of the students I take. Many of the students I have come across that they do want to learn many other things and they go on doing it, and they become this multidimensional characters. That's why now this particular revolution has been brought into this education system, that you have total freedom of choosing the subjects. Science student can accept the subjects from the art. Our students can accept subject for the commerce. There is nothing difficult at all. We cannot impose a particular line, a particular faculty, as we call it, a particular line, particular discipline, art, science, and commerce, and make them only mechanical learners of the thing. But let them learn with the self-learning. Let them learn with the discovery learning. Let them learn through activities. Let them learn with project. Let them learn with peer learning. Let them learn together. Let them learn cooperative. You understand my words? All these words are important keywords from this service. So self-learning, discovery learning, project learning, experiential learning, experiential knowledge, not only learning by heart, but experiential knowledge. Then skill learning. Skill is very important now. Skill happens to be very, very important. If child is not able to do anything, then he is he's a fellow of no use at all. Nothing at all, of no use at all. So there are so many graduates nowadays which are doing nothing. So fellow like doing nothing is not our aim for education at all. We want vibrant and creative society. How will it be there? Unless we do some changes in education. And unless we all teachers especially. Now, I hope that my all audience is happens to be teachers and lecturers and professors. So it is our main job now, my friends, to change our, what shall I say? We should change our mental set. Our roles are also changing. And therefore, if student is getting this freedom, we should also have freedom of teaching. You don't depend only upon your lectures. Don't go into the class and only give on the lecture. The policy says that let your student do the cooperative work, let them research it out, let them develop the aptitude of research, the habit of research, doing the research either from the library, from the laboratory, or going into the society and solving the problems as John Dewey used to do it. You must have heard about John Dewey, the famous philosopher in America, who had been also our Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar had been fortunately his student, John Dewey's student in Columbia University. So John Dewey was a very great philosopher who had these new ideas, which are to be put into the whole world now and which has come here in the NEP as well. That he says that school for lectures and college for lectures is of no use at all. You must have discussion method, you must have library method, you must have exhibition method, you must have debate method. There are different models of education coming up now. So all these things have to be used. Then, just as methodology is changing, you also must have the changes in the evaluation. That goes without saying, isn't it? So we should have continuous comprehensive evaluation. There should not be only one single examination, which is which is frightening, which comes at the end, and only within the 2 or 3 hours their future is decided, and the students also have all the time the tension. They have burden, and then they have examination fever. And then it goes to the extent of, committing the suicides with our so-called results of the examinations. So this picture should change. And that's why continuous comprehensive evaluation, oral examinations can be there, performance examinations can be there, intelligence tests can be there, personality inventories can be there. There are many more ways of, evaluating the child. They are coming up now through the research. So I request all of you, my teacher friends, to learn about this, to know about this. what kind of new evaluation techniques are coming. We have to face now. There could be, open book examination can come. There could be online examination. There could be on-demand examination. That's very interesting thing. Student can demand examination. I am prepared now. Now I want to appear for exam. The other student to say, I am not prepared yet. I need 1 more month for my study. This has to be given. This kind of flexibility will be there. It will not be only mark-based education system. It will have different credits will be there, and evaluation will be done on base of rubrics. I hope you know what is rubric. In a rubric, we don't give only marks, or we don't give only the credits or grades, but we give them, we evaluate them as per decided qualitative evaluation descriptions. Means adjectives are used. What should be done at every step, that is described in a complete paragraph. The whole paragraph is to be referred by the teacher. Are there these particular changes happening in my student? Then only he will come to this particular level. So this rubric-based evaluation will be there. And then student will go on doing the things. There are many more things also. He can do, as I said, different credits. He will say that I will do, say, 10 credits in science, 5 credits in commerce, and 2 credits in music. You have to allow that. All these credits will be accumulated. There is again interesting idea called ABC, Academic Bank of Credits, in which student will have some account, just like bank account number, and he will go on accumulating these credits. There is no fixed entry point for education. There is no fixed exit point for education. You can enter into education anytime, and you can exit from this education anytime. You can take as much gap as possible for you to be there for doing for some other work, for your difficulty, financial difficulty, family difficulty, whatever you have, that you can take care of, and again come back. You're always welcome to join this current once again. The flow of education will be ever continuing. The flow of evaluation will be ever continuing. You can join it anytime. You can leave it anytime. You can rejoin it anytime. You can relieve it anytime. You're getting my point? Flexibility of time, flexibility of place, flexibility of curriculum, flexibility of methodology, and flexibility of evaluation. With all these things, this new education policy is coming to you. Universities there will be no types of deemed university and central university and affiliated university and this and that. There are so many varieties nowadays. All these varieties will go away. There will be only one name left, university. Only university. Every university will have its own colleges. Or all colleges, the affiliation will go. Those colleges which are running now, like your college, all these colleges will become autonomous. Can you believe this? You will have the responsibility, you will get the right to prepare your own syllabus, prepare your own curriculum, prepare your examination system, give your own degrees. Autonomy will be coming up. Of course, this is kind of a dream, and it will come true. You see, the entire education policy, they say that its fruits will be visible in the year 2040. वीस 40 साली याची फळं दिसणार आहेत in the 2040. Some of the things will come till 2030. Now this is 2023. So it's a long-term planning, but all these things will come to that time. Then perhaps, we want creative education. So creatively students would come out. Now they will have the course of 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, whatever. They can get degree. If they study only for 1 year, they will get certificate. If they study for 2 years, they will get diploma. If they study for 3 years, they will get degree. They can study for 4 years also, taking research. They can take 5 years also. Then PhDs would be combining in that. They can have the research degree. There are various combinations are done. I recommend you to see all these details into the actual policy. See what does it say. There will be a knowledge commission. There will be a research foundation. National Research Foundation will be there. That research will have to be qualitative research. Nowadays, what we do is it is done only for the namesake. It is only done for the getting the degrees, and therefore the quality of research is very low as far as it is compared with the research done at abroad. And that's why research has to be applicable. The research student, the candidate, has to tell it confirmly what will be the use of his research to the society. He'll have to convince it in his during the PhD viva or whatever viva in that PhD or M.Phil or M.Phil is gone totally. Yeah, I just said by the slip of tongue, but there will be no M.Phil at all. The teacher education will also have, that is also the part of higher education. The teacher education will also have very, very great changes in it. So in this way, as I said, this particular policy, entire policy, as I said, is giving you the dreams, it is giving you the ambitions, but at the same time, it is also keeping it fit. Though it is giving you the wings to fly in the high horizons of the sky, it is also giving you the firmed feet to touch upon the ground. It is criticizing the traditional methods and giving you the new methods. You understand? This policy is based on perfect philosophical, psychological, sociological, and managerial principles. So there is, the whole philosophical thinking is perfect. You cannot criticize it. The only thing that would come to your mind will be, is this practicable? And how can it be done? Or other questions are, what about teacher's job, and what will be there some changes at all, and how to fill up these places, and how to, some colleges will be closed, like teacher education college, how to join them. All these are administrative and managerial problems which will be there. But I say that these are not problems, these are the issues, I would say. Yeah, that's the issue. When you decide something new, you have to do something new. How do you look at it as a problem? You see, it's not a problem at all. New things have to be done. We have to sit together. We have to decide how to do it. There are going to be clusters also. A particular college can be a cluster college, or it is called as a school complex as it is done. So college can take a leading role. Particular schools can take a leading role. There will be sharing also. You will have to share the things. A teacher education college will be joined with a degree college. All the colleges will have sharing facility. We can share your laboratory, your libraries. You can share your knowledge. You can share your professors. You can share your students also. This way, it can be, that word you have to remember, vibrant learning. The entire community, the entire educational field will be vibrant. It will be, मराठी सांगायचं झालं तर अगदी वेगवेगळ्या शैक्षणिक विविध उपक्रमांनी गजबजलेलं, कायमचं, म्हणजे सुस्तावलेलं, आळसावलेलं, मरगळलेलं राहणार नाही, अशी अपेक्षा, अशी स्वप्न ही पॉलिसी आपल्याला सांगते. या पॉलिसीला असं म्हणायचंय की जरी इथं उच्च ध्येयवाद सांगितला असला, जरी काही गोष्टी व्यवहारात आणायला अवघड अशा वाटत असल्या, तरी ते आणणं शक्य आहे, कारण तिथे इच्छाशक्ती हवी. वेन देर इज विल देर इज वे. ही इच्छाशक्ती शासनाची पण असली पाहिजे. म्हणून प्रत्येक राज्याला वेगळा आराखडा करायला सांगितलेला आहे. महाराष्ट्र राज्याने आराखडा करायला घेतलेला आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये मी स्वतःही सहभागी होतोय. आम्ही नुकतेच काही मुलाखती घेतल्या की ज्यांना त्या आराखड्यात सामील करून घ्यायचंय. तर अशा तऱ्हेचा आराखडा आपण केंद्राचा आलेला आहे ऑलरेडी, बरं का. नुसती पॉलिसी आलेली नाही. मी म्हणतो 66 पानाची पॉलिसी, पण स्कूल एज्युकेशनचा आराखडा, ज्याला NCF म्हणतात, नॅशनल करिक्युलम फ्रेमवर्क, तो देखील आलेला आहे. तोही भरपूर, अगदी 300-350 पानाचा आहे. इतका डिटेल दिलाय की अगदी म्हणावं वाटतं की कशाला एवढा डिटेल दिलाय, इतकं स्पून फिडिंग केलं, इतकं सुंदर ते दिलेलं आहे, तेही पहा. असाच आराखडा आपल्याला हायर एज्युकेशनचाही करावा लागेल. क्रेडिट सिस्टीम आपल्याला समजून घ्यावी लागेल. ही लवचिकता अभ्यासक्रमातली ही पण समजून घ्यावी लागेल. आणि अनेक नव्या गोष्टींना तोंड देत की पॉलिसी आपल्याला सक्सेसफुल करत ओव्हरऑलच समाजाचं आणि राष्ट्राचं कल्याण कसं होईल, अशा धोरणाने ह्या पॉलिसीला आपल्याला घेऊन जावं लागेल. तुम्ही इतक्या शांतपणे छान माझं ऐकून घेतलं. शांतपणे म्हणायचं तर मध्ये थोडासा साऊंड डिस्टर्बन्स झाला, मला तो टेक्निकली होत असतो. पण एनिवे मी इथं माझं मनोगत संपवतो. इथे म्हणजे तथाकथित व्याख्यान असं 1-5-10 मिनिटं शिल्लक आहेत. तर कुणाला काही यावरती अभिप्राय द्यायचा आहे, काही बोलायचं आहे, काही कॉमेंट आहे, काही शंका आहे, काही मत असेल तर आपण अवश्य सांगू शकता. मी पुनश्च तुमच्या संस्थेचे आणि माझे मित्र श्री सचिन पाटील सरांचे आभार मानतो. आधी ज्या सूत्रसंचालन करणाऱ्या ज्या आहेत शाहीन, त्यांचे आभार मानतो. फक्त त्यांना 2 दुरुस्त्या सांगायच्यात. मी सध्या सर्व्हिसमध्ये नाही बरं का, आता सेवानिवृत्त आहे. तुम्ही चुकून आहे असं म्हणाला होतात, आणि आडनाव चुकून तुम्ही तपकीर म्हणाला, ते पाटील सरांनी दुरुस्ती केलं तापकीर म्हणून. तर दुसरं असं की माझा परिचय करून देणारे आणि सूत्रसंचालक हे जर तुम्ही प्रत्यक्ष हॉलमध्ये आपण आलो असतो तर मी तुम्हाला पुस्तकं भेट देत असतो. तर तुमची ती संधी हुकलेली आहे. तर तुम्ही दोघं जेव्हा घरी याल माझ्या, तेव्हा तुम्हाला पुस्तकं भेट मिळतील. असं बोलून मी माझं व्याख्यान थांबवतो. धन्यवाद. नमस्कार.
Sir, may I ask one question?
Oh yes, you are welcome.
Sir, organizations like SUTA or I have seen that professors from various universities are started to deny NEP 2020. They are thinking that in the NEP 2020 they will lose their jobs in future. They are not ready to accept NEP 2020. As you have worked at both levels, education officer as well as professors, I would like to know your opinion about their action, or we can say reaction.
Oh, see, as I said, this is purely administrative and governmental administrative problem. Not a problem, but an issue. It is there, no doubt. But You have to be hopeful that I don't think that anybody will lose its job. Your jobs will be changed. The nature of job will be changed. There will be some reshuffling in the autonomous system. There will be some reshuffling that I know. So it may be possible that the nature of work might change. The place of work might change. The hours of work might change. This flexibility will have to be faced also by the professors. You will have to, in a way, you will have to also increase your qualification in different ways. If a technology is needed for that, if a flipped classroom or the blended learning is needed for that, then you will have to keep yourself up to date. But I don't think that you will have to face the danger of almost losing your job.
थँक्यू सर. अजून एक प्रश्न होता, जे इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी एज्युकेशनला आपण हे करतोय, प्रमोट करतोय NEP 2020 मध्ये, त्याच्यामध्ये इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी मध्ये आता सरफेस लेवल आणि डीप लेवल लर्निंग ह्याच्यामध्ये काही फरक पडेल का? आता सपोज इंग्लिशचा आपण अभ्यास करतो, इंग्लिश लिटरेचरचा. आता जर आपण ग्रॅज्युएशन इंग्लिश लिटरेचर मधून केलं तर आता त्याच्यामध्ये आपण व्हेरियस लिटरेचरचा अभ्यास, म्हणजे नॉवेल असेल, पोएट्री असेल, क्रिटिसिझम असेल, ड्रामा असेल. तर इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी मध्ये हे सगळं कसं अभ्यासणार? तेवढं असणार आहे का? सिलेबसचं स्ट्रक्चर वगैरे तेवढं डीप असणार आहे का? आणि तेवढं नॉलेज मिळेल का विद्यार्थ्यांना?
हो. कारण फ्रीडम आहे ना. जेव्हा मी म्हणालो की तुम्हाला विद्यार्थ्यांना हवं तितके विषय शिकता येतील, त्याचा अर्थ हा पण होतो की तुम्हाला एकच विषय पण डीपर शिकता येईल. त्यापासून कोणी रोखत नाहीये. समजा आता एखाद्या विद्यार्थीला MA इंग्लिश अगदी डीपर जायचंय, तर तिला कोणी आग्रह करणार नाही, तू का नाही म्युझिक घेत, तू का नाही कॉमर्स करत, तू का नाही थोडंसं कुकिंग शिकत, तू का नाही एखादं वाद्य शिकत, असं म्हणत नाहीये. ज्यांना शिकायचं, फ्रीडमचा अर्थ असा असतो की ते बंधन नसतं. आता परिस्थिती अशी की तुम्ही तुमचा एक विषय डीपरमध्ये जाता जाता तुम्हाला असे क्रेडिट थोडेसे ठेवलेले आहेत की ते आता सगळं त्या पॉलिसीत क्लिअर होईल, किंवा आपल्याकडे आराखडा आणखी येईल तेव्हा आणखी क्लिअर केलं जाईल. की आपण असं गृहीत धरू की मास्टर लेवलच्या डिग्रीला मला 40 क्रेडिट मिळवायचे, पण हे 40 क्रेडिट मिळवताना मी 30 क्रेडिट माझ्याच विषयाचे मिळवेन, 10 क्रेडिटचं मला एक ऍडिशनल असं हे ठेवलेलं आहे, प्रोव्हिजन ठेवलेली आहे की ज्या 30 क्रेडिटमध्ये डिटेल इंग्लिश लिटरेचरचा अभ्यास करून देखील मला 10 क्रेडिट करावे लागणार, कारण मला टोटल 40 करायचे. म्हणजे 10 मध्ये तुम्हाला फ्रीडम दिलंय की तुम्ही काही तुमच्या आवडीचे छंद तुम्ही जोपासू शकता आणि ती समृद्ध होईल, तुम्हाला जीवनात आनंद वाटेल. आणि अशी शिक्षण पॉलिसीची पण इच्छा आहे की तुम्ही मल्टी डायमेन्शनल असावं. तर त्यातच काही बंधन नाही की तुम्हाला एक नाही धड भाराभार शिंद्या सगळं करावं. आपण जे म्हणतो ना जॅक ऑफ ऑल ट्रेड्स आणि मास्टर ऑफ नथिंग, तसं नाही. ते असं आहे की जॅक ऑफ ऑल ट्रेड्स आणि मास्टर ऑफ कॉम्बिनेशन. तुम्हाला कॉम्बिनेशन करता येतं तुमच्या इच्छेप्रमाणे हवं तसं, आणि हे नंतरही करता येतं. फ्लेक्झिबल ठेवले. डिग्री तुम्ही बराच वेळ मिळवत राहू शकता. ते 3 वर्षात संपायची असं बंधन नाही. नोकरी पण करता येईल, रिसर्च पण करता येईल, मध्ये थांबता येईल, गॅप घेता येईल. हे लगेच कल्पना करणं जरा अवघड आहे आत्ताच्या रिजिड सिस्टीम मध्ये. पण मी म्हणतो ही स्वप्न तुम्ही 2040च्या काळात जर गेला आता तर हे असं आपल्या मुलाबाळांच्या नातवंडांच्या काळात असं.
ओके, चल, थँक्यू सो मच सर.
Yes, welcome.
Session is open for discussion and queries and questions. So, if any queries, please ask to Dr. Tapkeer sir. खूप छान पद्धतीचं मार्गदर्शन झालेलं आहे. तुमच्या मनात ज्या काही शंका असतील ते तुम्ही सरांना विचारू शकता. सर 32 पुस्तकांचे लेखक आहेत शिक्षण क्षेत्रातल्या. अविरत विद्यार्थी आहेत या शाखेचे.
एक माहिती म्हणून मी सांगतो आपल्या याच्यासाठी की माझा युट्यूब चॅनेल आहे, त्यावरती तुम्हाला व्याख्यान ऐकता येतील. ते माझ्या नावानेच उघडतो. माझं नाव इंग्लिश किंवा मराठी जरी टाईप केलं तरी तो चॅनेल उघडतो. आणि 104-105 व्याख्यानं त्यावरती लघु व्याख्यान आहेत, 20-25 मिनिटाची. त्यामध्ये तुम्हाला शैक्षणिक आणि आध्यात्मिक, काही मराठीतनं, काही इंग्लिश आणि काही हिंदी अशी व्याख्यानं उपलब्ध होतील. आपण त्याचा लाभ घेऊ शकता चॅनेलचा.
नक्कीच सर, नक्कीच. थँक्यू सर.
काही प्रश्न आहेत का? नाही तर सर मी एक छोटीशी गोष्ट सांगून समारोप करतो, प्रश्न नसेल तर.
येस सर, येस सर, येस सर.
एक छोटीशी गोष्ट सांगतो आणि मग आपण थांबूया, कारण वेळ पण झालेली आहे. गोष्ट अशी, म्हणजे मी त्या इंग्लिशच्या फ्लो मध्ये ती यायची राहून गेली, पण ती गोष्ट अशी की जे शिक्षणाचं कळेल की धोरणात काय नवीन सांगितलं, कशा तऱ्हेचे आपल्याला विद्यार्थी हवे. आपल्या मनात जे बसलंय ना की खूप उच्च शिक्षित, खूप विद्यापीठीय पदवीधर, डिग्र्या मिळवलेला, काहीतरी लगेच राहणी पाश्चात्य पद्धतीचा करणारा, इंग्लिश झाडणारा, तापटीप राहणारा, लोकांपासून वेगळा. पूर्वी म्हणायचे खेडेगावात बघा की शिकला की घराला हुकला आणि जरा जास्ती शिकला की गावाला हुकला. आणि अजून खूप शिकला की देशाला हुकला, अशी परिस्थिती होऊ नये. एक छोटी काल्पनिक विनोदी गोष्ट अशी आहे की दोन असे वयस्कर मंडळी भेटतात, रामराव शामराव, आणि एकमेकाला विचारतात. तर ते शामराव रामरावला विचारतात, काय म्हणताय तुमची मुलं वगैरे, नेहमीचा प्रश्न. तर त्या रामरावांना 4 मुलं असतात. तर ते रामराव सांगतात की माझा पहिला मुलगा डॉक्टर आहे. तर एक ऐकायला छान वाटतं ना, अरे वा, डॉक्टर करणं काही साधं नाही. सगळ्यात बुद्धिमान व्यक्ती डॉक्टर झालाय. दुसरा काय करतो, तर इंजिनियर झाला. अरे वा, तिसरा आहे वकील. तर ते मित्राला फार छान वाटतं की डॉक्टर, वकील, इंजिनियर हे आपल्या काय आपल्या करिअरचे अल्फाबेट जसं काय, म्हणजे जीवनाचं सार्थक झालं, तिघांनी शिकवलं. आणि मग त्यांनी विचारलं, चौथा काय करतो धाकटा? ते म्हणजे त्याच्याबद्दल काही विचारू नका. म्हणाले, का हो? म्हणाले, तो काही शिकलाच नाही, कॉलेजला गेलाच नाही, त्यांनी काय 10वी पण पास झाला नाही, नॉन मॅट्रिक येतो, नापास झालाय. म्हणून काय करतो? तो म्हणे घरी, म्हणजे शिकला तर नाहीच तो, पण तो वडापाव विकतो म्हणे, त्याचा वडापावचा स्टॉल. तर ते मित्र म्हणाले, अरे चे, काय या मुलांनी तुम्हाला बदनाम केलं, त्याला हाकलून का देत नाही? तर ते रामराव म्हणतात, त्याला हाकलू शकत नाही कारण त्याच्यावर घर चाललंय. हा जो भाग आहे हा फार महत्वाचा आहे. त्याच्या नंतरचं ऐकण्यासारखं आहे की रामराव नंतर सांगतात शामरावला की आता ऐका म्हणे, खरं तर मला तोच मुलगा आवडतो, कारण तो जरी शिकला नाही, जरी नॉन मॅट्रिक असला, तरी त्याचं वाचन चांगलं आहे, व्यवहार ज्ञान त्याचं चांगलं आहे, तो चांगला बोलू शकतो, त्याच्या बघा, लक्षात घ्या आपल्या पॉलिसीतले उद्दिष्ट, त्याचं संवाद कौशल्य चांगलं आहे, कम्युनिकेशन कौशल्य चांगलं आहे, तो संवेदनशील आहे, तो गावातल्या सगळ्यांना मदत करतो, त्याला व्यवसायाचं बुद्धी आहे, ज्याला आपण एंटरप्राइझिंग काय म्हणतो, इंटेलिजन्स, जो उद्योजकता आहे त्याच्यामध्ये, तो धडपडे आहे. किती गुण सांगतायत बघा त्याचे. पण नॉन मॅट्रिक मुलगा, तो कष्टाळू आहे, पहाट उठतो, त्याच्या हाताला चव आहे, त्याला वडा चांगला करता येतो, तो नीतिमान वागतो कारण तो वड्यामध्ये भेसळ करत नाही, तो प्रामाणिकपणे सचोटीने धंदा करतो, दानी आहे, तो गरीब लोकांना वडापाव फुकट देतो, गणेश मंडळाचा अध्यक्ष आहे, त्याच्यात नेतृत्वाचे गुण आहे, आणि तो सगळ्या गावाला ओळखतो, त्याला सगळा गाव ओळखतो. मला सुद्धा त्याचा मुलगा, त्याचे वडील म्हणून ओळखतो. मला माझ्या मुलाचा अभिमान आहे, धाकट्या मुलाचा. हे तिघं काहीच करत नाही, वडापाव आल्यावर, आणि हे तिघं डॉक्टर, वकील, इंजिनियर असून काहीही करत नाही. मला वाटतं ही गोष्ट बोलकी आहे. मी फार पूर्वी मी पासून सांगते, हे धोरण यायच्या आधीपासून. मग आता मला ही गोष्ट सांगत राहावीशी वाटते, कारण त्या धोरणाचं प्रतिबिंब ह्यात पडलं. आपल्याला डिग्रीवाला, पीएचडी वाला विद्यार्थी झाला म्हणजे फार काही कमवून असं काही नसतं. अनेकांना अनुभव आहे की मुलं काही करत नाही, पण हा मुलाचा वडापाव, ठीक आहे, वडापाव हे तुपाचं उदाहरण झालं. असं काही असेल, व्यवसाय असेल, शेतकरी असेल, उद्योगधंदा असेल, काहीतरी दुकान चालवी, काहीतरी वेगळं काही तो करेल, वेगळ्या गोष्टीत तो प्रावीण्य मिळवेल, एखादा गायक होईल, एखादा वादक होईल, एखादा काही इकॉनॉमिक्स होईल, काय जे असेल, जगामध्ये 1000 शक्यता आहे. त्या सर्व 1000 शक्यता ज्याच्या त्याच्या बहुविध बुद्धिमत्तेनुसार त्याला तो स्कोप मिळावा आणि त्याचा विकास व्हावा, त्याला इक्विटी म्हणतात. आणि पॉलिसीचं स्पिरिट हे आहे की उच्च शिक्षण ह्यासाठी की तो त्याच्या स्वतःसाठी, त्याच्या कुटुंबासाठी, समाजासाठी आणि देशासाठी उपयुक्त नागरिक, प्रोडक्टिव्ह नागरिक, क्रिएटिव्ह नागरिक आणि स्वतः सुखी असलेला असा असला पाहिजे. हा त्याचा अर्थ. धन्यवाद.
येस सर. मे बी दिनेश सरांना काहीतरी प्रश्न आहे.
ओके, दिनेश आहे सर, प्लीज आस्क क्वेश्चन टू.
नमस्कार सर. खूप उत्तम, छान काही दर्शन लाभलं. माझे एक प्रश्न होते की आपण जे आता उदाहरण दिलं तीच गत एक एज्युकेशन क्षेत्राशी होते असं दिसतंय, कारण सेल्फ फायनान्स हा एक कॉन्सेप्ट आलेली आहे, आणि सेल्फ फायनान्स कॉन्सेप्टमुळे हुशारातले हुशार किंवा खूप कौशल्य म्हणून देखील जेवढं वेतन मिळायला पाहिजे तेवढं वेतन मिळत नाही. तर महाराष्ट्र शासन किंवा भारत शासन याचा जो आराखडा आहे त्या आराखड्यामध्ये सेल्फ फायनान्स याचं त्या ठिकाणी म्हणजे थोडक्यात नोकरी, शिक्षणातली नोकरी आणि वेतन या संदर्भात काही आकृतीबंधामध्ये किंवा त्याचे जे नियम आहेत, निकष आहेत, त्यामध्ये सुधारणा होणार का?
आहे, निश्चितच. यामध्ये एक करता येते, पॉलिसी असल्यामुळे पॉलिसीला मर्यादा असतात. पॉलिसी एक प्रकारचं काय ज्याला मुक्त चिंतन म्हणतात तसं ते असतं. त्यामध्ये कंपल्शन करता येत नसतं किंवा डिक्टेट करता येत नाही. पण पॉलिसी मेकर्सनी हे नक्की सांगितलेलं आहे की हे सगळं आर्थिक याच्याशिवाय घडणं शक्य नाही, कारण मेकिंग इट हॅपन मध्ये त्यावरती भरपूर दिलेलं आहे की रिसर्चसाठी अनुदान असेल, सगळ्या गोष्टींसाठी अनुदान, नव्या संस्थांची निर्मिती असेल, किंवा पूर्वी असं असायचं बघा, नोकरी आणि शिक्षणाची फारकत. आता असं आलेलं आहे की नोकरी असो किंवा व्यवसाय असो, त्याच्यामध्ये आर्थिक दृष्ट्या ती व्यक्ती सधन झाली पाहिजे. म्हणजे दळभद्रीपणा, दारिद्र्य, गरिबी असा शाप राहू नये कुठल्याही व्यक्तीला. ती व्यक्ती स्वतःचा परिपूर्णतेने विकास करू शकली पाहिजे, याचा आशावाद ह्या पॉलिसीने दाखवलाय. शासनाला त्या रीतीनं शिफारशी केल्या, तशी विनंती केली गेलेली आहे. बजेट पण जवळजवळ आता 6-6.5% जाण्याची शक्यता वाढलेली आहे. हे सगळं त्यात घडलेलं आहे. फक्त याचं प्रत्यक्ष उपयोजन जेव्हा राज्यस्तरावर घडायला सुरुवात होते, त्या शासनाची जी विल असते, कारण तिथं मग काय राजकीय डावपेच सुरू होतात. मग एकमेकांना खुश करणं किंवा एकमेकांना टीका करणं यातून काही समस्या निर्माण होतात. त्या होऊ नयेत हीच फक्त सदिच्छा आपण व्यक्त करू शकतो. पण योग्य रीतीने जर इम्प्लिमेंट होत गेली आणि कुठल्याही पद्धतीचा, म्हणजे तो शब्द मी अजून वापरला नाही, पण आता नाईलाजाने वापरतो, की कुठल्याही तऱ्हेचा भ्रष्टाचार न होता संपूर्ण सिस्टीम जर प्युअर पारदर्शकपणे काम करू लागले आर्थिकदृष्ट्याही, तर मग काही निराश होण्याचे कारण नाही. कारण ऑलरेडी आता स्थिती बऱ्यापैकी सुधारलेली आहे. पूर्वी शिक्षकाचा व्यवसाय म्हणजे सर अशी म्हण होती की शिक्षकाचा व्यवसाय म्हणजे आरडा घसा कोरडा आणि खिसा कोरडा. आता खिसा कोरडा असायचं तेवढं कारण राहिलेलं नाहीये. पण तरी सुद्धा नोकरीच्या शक्यता आणि किती जणांना नोकरी हवी ती आणि त्यांच्या गुणानुसार ते मिळणं, यामध्ये नेहमीच आपण मागे पडलेलो आहोत. अनेक समस्यांना तोंड द्यावं लागलेलं आहे. पण त्याच्यातनं चांगला मार्ग निघावा आणि चांगलं सोल्युशन निघून सर्वांपर्यंत हे पोहोचावं अशीच इच्छा आपण करू शकतो. लेट अस होप सो.
धन्यवाद सर.
धन्यवाद.
Okay, anyone have any queries, questions, then you can ask. Okay, sir. So
Yes,
first
welcome.
of all, I realize my mistake. So sorry for that actually. Next time I'll remember all these things. And thank you so much for explaining a lot of things, an entire journey and of higher education system, like new education policy and all these things, entire system, history and journey of educational policies. So thank you so much for that. You share a lot of things and your valuable time with us. So thank you so much, sir. Now I request to all of you to fill feedback form. The link is on your WhatsApp group so that you can generate e-certificate easily. Now may I request Madhuri to share vote of thanks. Over to you, Madhuri.
Yes. Thank you, my friend Shaheen. Good evening, all of you. All dignitaries on the dais. I'm Madhuri Vetar from first year. I'm glad to be here to express vote of thanks. Today, one day national workshop on NEP 2020 and higher education has been organized by late Ramrao Nikam B.Ed College Indoli. On the behalf of late Ramrao Nikam B.Ed College Indoli, I am very thankful to today's resource person and eminent writer Dr. Dattatreya Tapkeer, professor at SNDT College of Education, Pune, who despite from his busy schedule graced the workshop and valuable guidance to all. Sir, we are very fortunate to listen a versatile resource person like you. We came to know outline of NEP from you. We like to listen you on different topics again and again. Thank you so much, sir. I extend my gratitude to our respected chairman of Shri.Narsinha Shikshan Santha and today's chairperson, Mr. Nivasrao Nikam Appa, for supporting and guiding us always. I am very thankful to our principal, Professor Mr. S. Patil sir, for his introductory speech and providing valuable support and inspiration to us. I extend my gratitude to IQAC coordinator, Professor Mrs. Borde Madam, Professor Mrs. Thorat Madam, for organizing such a wonderful workshop for us. I am very thankful to all teaching and non-teaching staff for their help to organize this workshop. I extend my gratitude to all professors and principals from other colleges for being here for this workshop. I am very thankful to those who have asked questions and made this workshop interactive. Special thanks to Mr. Dinesh sir. I am very thankful to all students from B.Ed first year and second year for their presence, without whom this workshop won't be possible. I am very thankful to Mr. Ajay and Mr. Sagar from second year for the technical support to the workshop. I am very thankful to Ms. Shaheen Sayyed for wonderful anchoring. In case anyone's name is overlooked, I am thankful to them also. With the permission of Principal Sir, I declare that workshop is over. Thank you all of you.
Thank you. May I take leave now, sir? See you
Thank you,
again.
sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'll take leave now. Thank you.
खूप छान मार्गदर्शन केलं सर. धन्यवाद मनापासून तुमचे डिस्टर्बन्स अगेन.
छान योग आला.
थँक्यू सर.
थँक्यू.
थँक्यू सर.
मी निरोप
Thank you,
घेतो.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
ओके. ओके, सगळ्यांना विनंती आहे की आपण फीडबॅक लिंक भरा, आपलं सर्टिफिकेट जनरेट होईल तुमच्या मेलवरती. सगळ्यांचे मनापासून पुन्हा एकदा आभार.
थँक्यू सर.